Well, hello everyone. This is Jamie Silver with Herf Jones and Varsity Brands. I hope this finds you well. Welcome to the March episode of the Yearbook podcast. Today we're going to cover 3 demonstrations, 2 of which regarding portraits, and 1 is about PDFs. Those are the kinds of questions that I've heard a lot of this month and I wanted to share with you. So, without further ado, we're going to jump right into the first one, which is about portrait flow and specifically how to include the teacher on the page. So this one is about a minute, almost 2 minutes long here. I'm going to play this and I'll be right back.
The Portrait Flow Wizard gives you the option to include a teacher with his or her class when flowing portraits according to the teacher grouping. Here on the first step of the wizard, I'll choose to flow by the teacher category and then select the teacher whose class I want to flow. I'll then see this option to include teacher. When I select this option, Portrait Flow will pull up a list of all the staff members in my portrait library, and in some cases it will have already identified the teacher that belongs to the group. When you hover over the name of the teacher, a preview of the portrait appears. To select a teacher or change the selection, just click on the teacher's name and you'll see a green checkbox beside his or her name. The names that appear here will be those designated as teachers or staff members in the portrait library. If you're creating a flow that uses placeholder frames, you'll see the option to include a larger teacher portrait on the size and position step. When you've made these selections, click Next. When you get to the size and position step, you'll see some additional options. I'll switch over to Live Preview so we can get a better representation of these changes. In the controls, you'll see the option to include the teacher's title. If you wish, you can select this option and then choose the title to be used for this teacher. You can also select whether you want it to show the teacher's title and last name only, or title and full name. You also have the option to use a larger teacher portrait. Choosing this option will make the teacher's portrait twice as large as the student's portraits. Once you've made these selections, you can proceed through the Portrait Flow Wizard as described in the other tutorials, and the teacher's portrait will flow along with his or her class.
So I hope you found that to be a timely video. I hope that helps. It might be something you're working on right now. Now, if you have any issues, as you saw in Mark's quick demonstration there, where the portrait of the teacher does not show up in that list on that first window, give me a call, and that's something I can help you with. It's a common thing where the disk may not, or download may not have been formatted just right from your photo studio. It's something we're aware of and really easy to fix for you. So if you run into any issues on that, do let me know. We're happy to help. Now, switching gears to the second demonstration, this again is about portrait flow, but this is about reflowing. And I'll just let you know, this example I'm going to share with you does highlight, a high school yearbook, but the tools are the same. So I want to share with you today. So this one is about 2 minutes as well, and I hope you find it helpful, and I'll be right back.
The Portrait Flow Wizard makes it simple to reflow a group of portraits if changes need to be made. In this example, I discovered some changes are required in the sophomore section, which has already been flowed on the pages. This student's name spelling needs to be corrected, and this student should actually be in the junior section. I'll navigate to the portrait section of the library and make the necessary edits as described in the tutorial on proofing portraits and names. I'll change Cassie's name to be spelled with a K, and I'll change Nicholas to be an 11th grader. When the changes are made, I'll go back to the book module and launch the Portrait Flow Wizard. I now see that my 2 portrait groups have a caution symbol beside them, letting me know that they may require a reflow. If I click on the caution symbol, Portrait Flow lets me know the reason for the warning. Both the sophomores and the junior sections will be affected since Nicholas now needs to move from the 10th grade to flow with the 11th grade. To reflow this section, I select the group name and click Edit. The warning lets me know that the existing portraits will be removed from the pages. Please remember, any edits to names or portraits that were made on the pages will be lost when you reflow. All changes to names or portraits should be made in the portrait library so that they will be saved when reflowing a section. I can now walk through the Portrait Flow Wizard again for this group. The wizard remembers the settings from the original flow, and when I click Flow Portraits, the updated portraits and names are placed on the pages. The same process applies to reflowing groups that were created with placeholder image frames. In this example, I've created a flow with placeholders. I now want to flow in the actual portraits. Click Edit to change the flow. Switch from placeholders to portraits, then walk through the rest of the portrait flow wizard again. The placeholder frames will be replaced with the actual names and images.
Again, I know it's a high school example, but I think you'll find that helpful no matter what age group you're working on your yearbook. It's really highlighting the automation of the portrait flow tools that we've built in for you. And I want to highlight one of the points that Mark made there, and that is that when you go to reflow, as it says on the screen, it's going to remove the pictures from the page. So that's okay. I often get a call where it's a little scary. That message comes up, says deleting the pictures. Just to clarify, it's not really deleting the pictures from your library. It's simply removing them from the pages affected that you're asking it to reflow, and then reflow it with any changes you've made. Now, speaking of changes, as Mark said, I want to highlight again the changes that need to be made to, first name, grade, homeroom, teacher, any of that information. You really want to make sure you do that in the library, not on the page after you flow it. And for the simple reason that when you go to reflow it, as Mark just showed in this video, it takes into account all those changes on multiple pages as necessary. So if one student, moves from one classroom to another, you can reflow those two sections and it will take effect and move it, delete it from one page and put that student on the next. So hope that was helpful on portraits. Switching gears to the last demonstration today, this is all about creating proofs. So we're kind of in the home stretch here. It's March. I know we're not at the end of the school year yet, but we're all probably gearing up and really full swing of yearbook. And I'm guessing the portrait is something that a lot of you are working on because I've had a lot of calls. So I just wanted to share this with you. But this last one is about proofing. So after you finish these pages, this video explains the proofing process on the website, on eDesign, for all the pages on your yearbook. So I'm going to share that with you here. This one is about 2 minutes as well, and I will be right back.
You can generate PDF proofs of your pages at any stage in the production process. The PDF proofs can be reviewed on screen or printed out if you like. You can generate a PDF of a page from the ladder view in the book module or from within Page Design. In the ladder view, you select the page or the spread. If you want to select a spread, hold down the Control key on Windows or the Command key on Mac and click on both pages. Then go to the File menu and choose to generate a PDF. If you're logged in as a regular staff member or an editor, your only option will be to generate a low-resolution PDF. If you're logged in as an advisor, you can generate a high-res or a low-res PDF. The high-res PDF is going to have higher quality versions of the images in the PDF, but the higher res version will also take longer to generate and longer to download depending on the speed of your internet connection. If you're working inside Page Design, you can generate a PDF from the File menu. For this example, I'll choose Low Res PDF. The steps that follow will differ depending on what operating system you're using, Windows or Macintosh, what browser you're using, and the default PDF viewer on your computer. In this example, I'm on a Mac with Safari as the browser and PDF set to open automatically in another browser tab. In some configurations, the PDF may just save to your Downloads folder and you'll need to open it from there. You can print the PDF, but be aware that the default setting for printing will be to scale down the page to fit on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. This is good in that you can get all the contents of the page on one sheet of paper, but it also means that the size of elements on your printout won't match the actual print size for the book. So just remember that the size of the printout probably doesn't match the actual size at which things will print in the book. If you need assistance with the technical aspects of working with PDFs on your system, you can call the technical support hotline at the number shown on screen.
Again, that was all about proofing, and if you have any questions on that, because my recommendation is to proof, often to review pages. As Mark said, you can print them out if you'd like to share with others, but proof things, get as many people to look at it before you click the submit button. Any questions on proofing or portrait flow or anything else yearbook, you know where to find me. I'd love to help you. So in closing, I wanted to share this next inspirational video. This one's about 8 minutes long. If you've watched the last couple months episodes, you've seen that I've included this at the tail end of the Yearbook podcast. This is above and beyond yearbook. So this next one is not about yearbook, but it's more about school, climate of your school, and this one specifically is a great story about an inspirational story, I should say, and a leap of faith. So I want to share this with you here. This is how we'll wrap up this month's of the video. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I look forward to talking with you soon. Thank you.
I'm bringing some of the wisest, successful, most inspirational human beings on this planet into your classrooms for your benefit.
When everything was stacked against me, that's when I was at my best.
You never know when the days could stop counting. That's when you make them count.
You gotta shoot your shot.
We all have the ability.
I can do anything I put my mind to.
And they took a leap of faith. These are the answers, the blueprints. I'm providing them to you. I have this heart that bleeds for the youth of this country because we need to learn to lead. We need to elevate ourselves. That's how this world changes. It starts with you.
My name is Brent Kamlich, and I am the CEO, head dude, whatever you want to call me, of a company called Dude Be Nice.
The Dude Be Nice project celebrates the unappreciated, everyday heroes that surround us. They make these people feel appreciated through grand gestures of kindness and share these stories through viral videos that touch millions of hearts.
My dad was a high school principal, and one of the things that he instilled in me early on was you're only as good as the people on your staff. From the custodian to the administrative staff to the teachers. He just instilled in me this just respect for people in general, and especially those that are working hard, even if they're in a job that may not be the most glamorous front and center job. Oftentimes those people aren't appreciated, so we wanted to create this thing where we throw these epic surprise parties and say thank you.
We're gonna make this the best day ever for a bunch of people that are part of the Mountie Nation.
We wanted to get kids involved in that so they can experience what it's like to do nice things for other people without any expectation of something in return. We started filming these stories, and that's evolved into this thing called the Dude Be Nice project.
Being close friends with Brent, he seems like a very outgoing, loving guy, but even he suffered from depression in college.
I was always up in front of people, always speaking, and that kind of life of the party wherever I was, right? And then that became very uncomfortable for me. All of a sudden, out of kind of nowhere, experiencing intense anxiety, and that leading to getting super depressed and losing a ton of weight, not being able to eat, not being able to sleep. It was challenging for my entire college.
Fortunately for Brent, he was surrounded by friends that he could lean on when times got tough.
I'll never forget actually confiding in my best friend, and guys don't do that a lot, you know, it's all everything's cool, you just kind of make fun of each other, and that's your relationship. And so it was my first time actually confiding in a friend, being like, hey man, this is how I feel. And while he didn't fully understand it at the time, he was supportive, and I'll never forget kind of just feeling okay, someone kind of knows and he still loves me, and that was important. Friendship has always been really important to me. True relationships are built on transparency and vulnerability, getting to actually know each other and being open about things. You can still be successful even dealing with that adversity.
After college, Brent started working for advertising and news stations. He quickly realized that all these mainstream media outlets were focused on spreading negativity, and he decided it was time to make a change.
I was making more money than I ever thought I'd make. I realized dude, that's not what I want to be about. I don't want to live to tell these sad, tragic stories. I got to do something that's more fulfilling. I started realizing what I like, what I'm good at. I love building brands. I love telling stories, just not the sad ones, and I love working with young people. Around August 2014, we were having our first baby. I quit my job, my wife quit her job, and I was like, all right, let's do this.
Brent wanted to do something different and spread positivity, so he started an apparel company called Dude Be Nice. The idea was simple: spread good vibes.
We kind of do a lot of the things that are the antithesis of what you see that's really popular. So there's been shirts that are I hate you, we're really negative on there. So we're let's do something opposite of that and make that cool. So it's let's be friends, why not? You don't always get it right. You know, sometimes there's things that everyone loves that you don't really understand why, or things that people just don't buy. That's a challenge of having a business. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it wrong, but hopefully you learn from kind of what works and what isn't working and make better decisions in the future.
Brent's an awesome dude. He really cares, and he took a leap of faith, and that's hard to do, to get out of a 9-to-5 or something you're truly not passionate about and create something of your own.
There have been many days and times where I've asked myself, do I want to keep doing this? Why am I doing this? We weren't making a lot of money, we weren't selling stuff.
We were working out of Brent's living room.
It's been challenging. It's just taken time. It's taken going to events all over the country, you know, carrying 10 boxes by myself and showing up and one by one telling people what this company is and selling them on this idea of that we're trying to do good in the world.
At the beginning, it was a flop, but he had an idea to expand his message beyond clothing.
Dude, be nice.
When we first launched the Dude Be Nice project a couple years ago, we're like, I hope this goes viral, like millions of people are gonna love this. And it was like, wah wah, we had like a couple hundred people watch and we're like, oh, maybe next time.
Brent pushed through the resistance and believed in his idea, and eventually it caught the attention it deserves.
This is going to be something we do to show that we are a positive community, that we do positive things.
And I think what these guys are just trying to tell you is that you're making a huge impact on this campus.
Sure enough, like over time, like we just kind of kept doing it and it's caught on. And now that 200 and something views has turned into like 30 million plus, and you know, opportunities to work with CBS, big companies that want to infuse our stuff and our stories into what they're doing as well. So we did a Dude Be Nice project last weekend, and it's pretty rad that the newspaper showed up and it became like the front page, the story that we went and did this thing for these 3 awesome moms.
Today we are recognizing 3 people that probably have one of the most difficult jobs in the world, and their job is being mom.
It's just nice to create some good news out there when there's so much negative stuff. Significance doesn't have to be monumental. We all have the ability in terms of how we talk to people, how we include people, to make a huge difference.
Dude Be Nice has made an impact across the nation. It's enabled students and communities to share stories of love and positivity for those who mean the most to them. These stories show how meaningful it is to reach out and show somebody that you care.
To see other schools and organizations make Dude Be Nice a part of like their community, there's something really special about that. When you are constantly appreciative, the sky's the limit in terms of the joy that you can have and the joy that you can bring to other people.
Think about somebody in your community. It could be someone at your school, someone that works down the street, somebody you rely on. You personally can reach out and let them know, hey, I appreciate you.
Check out our Dude Be Nice project, share it with your friend, maybe create your own Dude Be Nice project with or without us, and make a big impact in your community by saying thanks to a person or a group on campus, and do it in a fun, creative, and meaningful way. Make your own gear. We're an apparel company, a fashion brand, but you can make it personalized for your community. Use Dude Be Nice as your platform to make a big splash and show others how much they matter to you, and I promise it's gonna make their life awesome, but your life more awesome as well.